Hello, I'm Anna
Hello, I'm Dennis.
and we are part of Lancaster Seed Library.
So the seed library started in 2015. It started, we received some funding from the lottery, from the Heritage Fund. The seed library, we have two elements in the seed library. The first one is the cabinets that we have in the central library, which we have one for incoming and one for outgoing seeds. The incoming cabinet is where people bring the seed they saved, we have a look at it, we check the quality, and then move them to the outgoing cabinet where we put the seeds that people come and take. So that's the first element, and we have two logbooks, one for each cabinet where people write what they brought or what they took. And the second element is the seed library beds, which is our living lab here in Clever Hill Community Farm, where we grow lots of different plants to save seed.
And since the lockdown, the cabinets that Dennis has spoken about, they normally live in the central Lancaster library, and that's been shut. And now there's very restricted access, so you have to book an appointment to go in, and you're encouraged not to go in unless you need to. And so a wonderful local woman, Victoria, came up with the idea of so-and-so libraries, which are these small, they look like cabinets, and they contain sowing supplies and seeds, and they've started appearing around Lancaster. So some of the seeds, they've already started going in, but we've saved lots more seeds this year for us to distribute them through those boxes.
Why is it important to save seeds?
It's important because first of all it's fun. Saving seeds is fun, and if you're into gardening and plants, it's a really nice activity to save your seeds and then see what comes out or doesn't come out and how they look. But also it's very important. Saving seeds is the first step for food sovereignty, which is the right of people to decide what they want to grow, what they want to eat.
The people that control our seeds control our food system, and if you look at the history of seeds, seed companies only have been around for about 100 years or so, and before that we had a really rich tradition of saving seeds and swapping them and growing and adapting them to our local climates, and with that you had huge agricultural biodiversity. And since corporations have taken control of seed, you've seen a huge decrease in the diversity of agricultural crops. And with that comes a decrease in diversity of what people eat and the nutritional quality of what we eat.
So what kind of seed do you get through the library, and what kind of seed do you save here?
So from people we get wildflowers, onion seeds, all sorts of seeds. What else do we get? Kale, or whatever people save.
That people bring.
People bring.
So lots of wildflowers
Lots of
actually,
wildflowers.
and kale and mustard. Someone bought a lot of mustard last year.
Yeah. So it's like a seed swap.
Pretty much with the Industrial Revolution and with the move of a food system towards focusing on growing more efficiently and higher yielding crops, that's resulted in a seed industry that has essentially focused on those same things. So how can they produce seeds that will grow vegetables and fruit that are reliable, high yielding, are easy to transport, have a good shelf life, and all of these things. And it's resulted in what we call F1 hybrids becoming quite common within the horticultural industry. And Dennis can tell you more about that, but essentially that involves crossing two parent plants that maybe have qualities that you really like. So maybe you have a tomato plant that grows really big tomatoes, but they're an orange colour, and then you have a small tomato that is bright red in colour but tiny and it's not very tasty. And you cross those to produce a tomato that's both big and bright red and tasty. But to keep getting that tomato, you have to keep crossing the parents, and it means that you rely on plant breeders to get that seed. And that seed for farmers is then more expensive, but it does bring the higher yield.
So if you want to save seeds and have some good results and don't get disappointed, the best is to start with open pollinated seeds, because they will grow they will mostly grow true to type. Whereas if you start with, for example, F1 hybrid seeds, because they have a result of breeding and they have lots of different parents, the seeds that you save might grow plants that look very different to the ones that you started with. So the best is to look at the packet and buy open pollinated seeds, and there is companies that you can find open pollinated seeds like the Real Seeds or the Seed Cooperative. So we save plants from around the world, really.
So we have a range of other seeds that we are adapting to our local climate, and the seed is originally from Palestine, and they've thrived here, and we tried them for the first time last night, and they smell almost a mixture between a melon and a pumpkin, and they're so sweet and tasty. We have these giant sunflowers, and these originally came from Real Seeds, which is a seed company based in Wales that are encouraging groups to adapt varieties to their local area, and they are particularly good for growing sunflower seeds for eating. So they have huge heads, and everyone that's been passing the site has been asking where we got them from and admiring them. So we're growing a range of different beans, and this is called a Black Emperor. We got it from a seed swap in Bradford near Leeds, and it grows really well in Lancaster, and the texture when you boil them is like chestnuts. It's really nice.
This is a runner bean from Greece. It's called gigades in Greek, and they're very tasty. When you boil them, it tastes like they taste like chestnuts, and we didn't really expect that they will grow here because they grow in a very warm climate, but they're actually thriving. And this is the third year that we're growing them, so these have adapted. Their color has slightly changed. They became darker compared to the first seeds that we brought, but this is why seed saving is exciting, because you start with something and then you end up with something slightly different or very different. So these are the quinoa plants that we've been growing for 4 years at this bed. We call it the Lancastrian quinoa. It has been adapted and grows really well in Lancaster, in the climate of Lancaster, and we have plans to grow it commercially at some point here in Clever Hill.
So this is a Bolivian maize, and it's been shared with us by a Bolivian seed library that's doing exactly what we're doing but in Bolivia. And again, we've tried growing it here, and all it wants to do is grow tall. So it doesn't have very many actual corns or the cob on it, but we'll see how it does. We've got a couple that have started to form now, so we'll see if they ripen, but if not, it's clearly not made for Lancaster. This is a type of maize that we're growing here, and it's the third year we've grown it. And the seeds originally came from Real Seeds in Wales, but I imagine the origin of this comes from South America, somewhere originally, probably around the Peru area. And they cross and they produce lots of different colours, but you cook this in a very different way to the corn on the cob you'd find in a supermarket. So this is a lot harder, and so you roast it and it pops and it makes really good popping corn.
So here we have a Greek rocket we brought from Peliti, which is a very old seed bank in Greece.
And the other thing we've been trialling this year is a lentil, and we took the seed from a Hodmedod's packet that they've been growing in the south of England, and we've tried them out this year, and we've got just about enough to grow a larger patch next year. Some of them have done terribly, but a few are still going, and they've produced really big lentils.
If you want to get involved in seed saving, come join us at Cleverhill, where there will always be someone who will show you around and show you how to grow and how to save seed. And the seed library beds are open to everyone to use, so if you have any good ideas, they're more than welcome, and join us.
And if you want to save seed from wherever you are, you can always start at home. So you can go on a walk and collect wildflower seeds once they're dried and just scatter them somewhere else to encourage greater diversity around your area. And some of the seeds that are really easy to save include peas, marigolds, tomatoes, so you can grow all of those in pots at home, and you essentially just grow the plant like you would if you were growing a marigold for the flowers, but you let it go past the flowering stage until the seed forms and dries and turns brown, and then you just get in there, have a look, and you'll see where the seeds are. You can always look up online how to save those different types of plants as well. The Garden Organic website has a lot of information on saving seeds.